This is the game that everyone's talking about and everybody's playing. If you've never riffled chips, pulled off an outrageous bluff or felt your heart pounding waiting for the river, you just haven't lived. And you're in the right place to watch poker. We have our first semi-final table set, and what a mouth-watering game that's going to be, with the irrepressible Tony G, World Series 12th place finisher John McGill and the wise owl Harry Demetriou amongst those in contention for a $200,000 first prize. It's already looking like one of the poker tournaments of the year, and we're only at the halfway point. Who will raise their game under pressure and who will fold as the next contenders square up for the chance of poker stardom? Let's hear from our commentary team, Jesse May and Cowboy Kenna James.
Good evening, Jesse May here with the Cowboy Kenna James. And Kenna, welcome back to the land of soup and fog.
Well, thank you, Jesse. It's a pleasure to be here tonight. Always exciting coming to this side of the pond and commentating on the wonderful poker action.
Now, we've got one semifinal already filled, starting on the second one this evening. What impresses you most about a poker player?
Well, their approach to the game. They have to have respect for the game and for their opponents. Their timing has to be almost perfect to come through because remember, this is a winner-take-all for that golden ticket into the semifinal and a chance, don't forget, to win $200,000.
Yeah, timing, very important. Who's got their watch wound tightest tonight? Let's see who's on the table.
Norman Walsh is my name. I've been playing poker 20 years. I don't do it for a living. I drive the buses back home in Dublin for a living. I just enjoy my poker. I play a different game to everybody else. There are guys playing with me 20 years that can't put me on a hand. I'm just a very unorthodox player. Joe Beavers once said about me that I'm unpredictable. And that's great to know.
I'm Conor Tate from the north of England, Bury. I'm a professional poker player. It means a lot. It means 200,000. You know, it means a lot to anybody. And that's what I'm in it for.
My name is John Fulari. I live in the United States. This is like a final table, so it's a little bit new to me. I think I have to play more aggressively and wish for the best.
Hi, I'm Anil. I'm 33. There's very few things that take as much like sort of total effort as poker. You kind of had to pay attention to 6 or 8 people all the time for hours on end. So it was pretty intense.
Hi, I'm Zack. I've been playing poker for about 6 years now. I think people would say I'm quite an aggressive player. I don't like to hang about. I like to get stuck in. And I play tournaments to win them.
I'm Chris Black. I'm from Boston, Massachusetts. I qualified on Party Poker back in July. You can expect me to be a snake. That's what I'm known for, you know. I wouldn't be surprised if I get in with the worst hand at some point and I take them out.
Experienced table there, Kenna, especially the most laurels at the table, probably Conor Tate's, who was 12th in the World Series just last year.
Excellent point, Jesse. I mean, everybody has multiple years of experience on this table. Conor Tate, you know, he's done very well in the World Series, very well in the United States. He's been traveling for many years. And matter of fact, on his bio sheet, he's saying he's played all his life this game. So watch out for him. But I'll tell you, there's some wild cards, and one of them is Norman Walsh, coming from Dublin, Ireland. Obviously, he won't be afraid to get out there and gamble it up.
Now, well known on the Irish scene is Stormin Norman Walsh. One player I know quite well, of course, Anil Gurnani, just came out of a monastery after 5 years in a Buddhist monastery in San Francisco, but I remember him from my college days in Chicago.
Well, patience certainly will be a virtue for him.
Well, pass the peas, please. It won't be quick in there. Let's see the action happen. Diamonds are wild here. Play hard, hit the ground running. 6 alive. Trying to get through to that spot in the second semis, and of course, 600,000 on this table. split up into 6 lots of 100,000 each. The yellows worth 1. Blues are 2K and the reds are 5,000. A lot of experience on this table, KJ.
A bevy of experience. It's wonderful to be here sitting next to you once again, Jesse May. Fantastic action on hand. These players playing for a winner-take-all golden ticket into the semifinals. That semifinals will be 12 players, 2 tables of 6, guaranteed a minimum of $7,000 to the winner tonight. 2 tables of 6 will play down to 3 of each table. Moving on to the finals where the winner will take home $200,000.
Yeah, it's worth getting your oysters in a nutshell for. And Simon Zack, first hand with a raise, triple the bet with the queen 10. And I believe he's going to take the pot unless Conor Tate decides to give him business. Conor Tate there for Northern Ireland in the big blind. And I think he is going to give him business.
Absolutely. If you're going to give business, have something to give business with. He does pocket queens, the third strongest starting hand possible in No Limit Hold'em. How's he going to play it, Jess? Is he going to flat call or re-raise? He probably wants to dictate action right off the start.
Re-raise.
And I imagine he does, and he does
20,000 more, 26
yeah, I mean, Kenna, if he
total,
knew he was up against a queen 10, he might slow play it, but re-raise takes it. And Conor probably came into this heat as the favorite. A lot of experience online and live, and he's taken that first one.
He certainly has. He's setting the pace early and setting the tone. He had the hand to do it with, so no sweat there.
Pass.
Yeah, still first level. Blinds 1 in 2,000, and nobody has shot
Pass.
themselves in the foot as of yet.
Nope, 2-0 hands by Norman and Conor find the muck over to John Fulari, who also pitches it.
Guunaney yet to move a chip. He may find the ace on the button to his liking.
Raise to 6,000 total.
And he's tripled the bet.
Standard raise, opening round, 3 times the big blind, 6,000 to go for Gurnani with ace-5, and looks very calm in assessing his opponent's decisions as they look at their hands.
Bit of a tester here for Chris Black. It's going to make a statement about how he intends to play these early levels, isn't it?
Certainly is.
I mean, he could call raise or fold.
He could. He's got one of these middle-of-the-road hands. And the important thing is here is to make a decisive decision and stick with it.
What would you suggest?
Well, I would suggest re-raising at this point, because I think flat calling, you're not going to know where you're at after the flop. So I think if you re-raise and define your hand and then see what your opponent does is the best course of action. And it looks that's exactly what he's going to do. Good decision.
16,000 more, 22
it's sending out a very strong message. Guunaney now knowing there's no easy pickings on his left. Is it a fold?
Absolutely. And it was a great raise. Almost 3 times the amount of the raise. He raised him 16,000 right back at you. Take down the pot. Very well played, Chris Black. Looks like a Harvard man. Let's get the tail of the tape on Chris Black as he takes home that pot.
I actually play poker professionally right now. I guess you could use the word professional. I mean, just because I quit my job back in June. I was a fund accountant, entry level. I just got my degree in finance a year and a half ago, so there's a little bit of pride in being an online player, just because, especially being like a young online player, because that's the stereotype that everyone thinks, like here's this young hotshot who thinks he's a professional poker player. He plays online, like I'm sure he's gonna be, I can pick off all his tails so easily. And it's kind of, there's some pride in trying to prove that I am a real poker player. But I mean, I think the 200 grand is a lot more than pride right now.
Oxford collar and all. Chris Black from the School of High Resistance.
He is. He's from Boston, Massachusetts. I knew he had to be from the East Coast.
Something about the way he put his chips in, or his haircut.
Look at this. He quit a job as a fund accountant, just this past June to play poker professionally.
Well, he's starting
I
out.
knew he had to be in money.
Fuladi on the action now, 2,000 to call.
Pass.
And Anil Gurnani
Pass.
Licking his wounds.
Pass.
Yeah, Black has got that crouching tiger look about him, doesn't he? He really looks. Look how focused he is.
Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon is Chris Black now with the
Call.
ace-8.
No
How to
raise.
play these mediocre, middle-of-the-road hands, the weak aces, very crucial in your strategy.
I mean,
Last time he elected to re-raise. This time he flat calls. Let's see if he's trying to set him up or just being cautious.
yeah, it's almost like he's trying to sow seeds of doubt in Norman Walsh's
Check.
hand, and
Either
Check.
that or he might
Play
have
check.
doubt in his own head. But now I think he has to be slow playing after he checks top pair with ace.
Walsh has picked up bottom pair.
2,000.
Black has done all he
Call.
could to get action. This is the only way that Norman Walsh can stick 2,000 into this
Yeah.
pot. And if an 8 comes, it'll be Oh my!
Oh, I was going to say, or a deuce. Sometimes when you slow play, you can find yourself in a lot of trouble. Is it greed that gets the better of you? I'm not
5,000.
sure, but this time it's the deuce, the duck.
Called and play.
Well,
hand.
Walsh is just
Norman
cold
Walsh
on
just
the
flat
river.
calls with the 3 deuces on the river.
I'll tell you, that's one snapping turtle that stayed in his shell.
Yeah, that-
Walsh had an opportunity to win some money there.
Well, that will win him the pot, but it will not win him the war, Jesse May. If you cannot put in a raise there with 3 deuces in a winner-take-all tournament, you may win this short pot, but in the long run, you are going to be in trouble.
Stormin Norman Walsh letting the rain fall gently there. But I'll tell you what, Chris Black must be sick to his stomach.
Well, he does a little bit. You know, you can't make, poor decisions very often and get away with it. And at some point, he had to put heat on that pot, and he let his opponent in. He dragged him along a little bit too long, and maybe he wanted to milk his opponent. Well, the cow just
Call.
stepped on him while he was milking it.
Limp in from Fuladi
Pass.
here with the king-queen offsuit for 2,000. And
Raise
Simon
6,000
Zack
total.
cranking the wheel to 6. It's more of an action raise than a reduce the pot. I mean, Zack's certainly going to get some action here.
I would
Pass.
think so.
It's certainly not a shutout bet. And
Pass. Call.
Already calling with the best hand.
there is 15,000 in this pot. Flop to come. And both players have missed.
This usually goes
Check.
to the aggressor with position, which in this case is Simon Zack. He raised before the flop
Both
and
checked.
now is flat checking.
Boy, if it comes a jack, it'll be happy days for Fuladi.
Check.
But it hasn't.
Simon Zack, I think, has to make a bet here. He's raised before the flop, and now if he makes a bet, it might look like he was slow playing the flop, and his
14,000.
opponent should go away.
Many years experience on the UK circuit for Zack. Plenty of placings. Still looking for that big crown, though, in action on Fuladi, who really can't call here, can he, Kenna?
Not really. He sees that a jack would make him a straight, but the price is too high, and he elects to fold. Nice hand by Simon Zack. I think he waited a little bit too long to bet there.
He did.
After raising before the flop with jack high, obviously you're on a move. And if you're going to make a move early in no limit hold'em, I mean, if you're going to make a move, make it early, which means on the flop, especially if you've already raised before the flop. You need to have that continuation bet to take home the pot and not draw your opponent into the hand by letting him see the turn for free.
Yeah, I mean, the worms never count crows, do they?
More to come after the break here on the partypoker.net World Open. Don't go anywhere.
The second level is underway. Blinds now 2,000 and 4,000. What have you noticed?
Well-
Who's impressed?
Well, if we're not, if they don't step up the action, we will as we increase the blinds to 2,000 and 4,000. I noticed that everybody here is has a lot of experience, and experience tells you to wait in the initial rounds and gauge your opponents.
Pass.
Somebody, and I believe it's probably Simon Zack, who's stepped out the most in that first level and is going to take advantage of this tight table. Let's see what happens in this level.
Raised up to 12,000.
Now, this is the second time Guunaney has raised from the button. The first time he got punished by the big blind. He's at it again with pretty much no hand here.
Pass.
Well, and if you look at Gurnani, he's really eyeing his opponents, and that after he raises, and that kind of, for me, when I see that an opponent, spells weakness.
A little bit of tension there, perhaps. But that raise got through, and Guunaney, he is the short stack, but everybody's still well in touch.
He looked relieved to take that.
I think it's the first pot he's won on his own.
I would be interested in getting him back here and
Pass.
talk about that 5 years in the Buddhist monastery. I'll tell you that.
He left a very high-paying job in the financial world,
Which
in
is why
San
he put
Francisco.
down occupation happily unemployed.
Pass.
I have to confess, I know Anil pretty well. I went to
Raise.
school with him
10,000
in
total.
Chicago.
Is that right?
Yeah. But I haven't seen him since then. We used to
Well,
play, we used to play
probably
poker
after
together.
after taking up shop with you, he decided to go into a monastery. You probably sent him there.
I think it was the 48 game with the Bellagio that sent him there personally. But the raise here from Simon Zack on the button, and Zack way out of bounds with the 8 deuce, and Walsh having a good old think with the king 10.
Well, it's so interesting. Everybody's playing close to the vest, except you see this, once in a while somebody snaps. You saw it with Norman Walsh with the deuce 3, and now Simon Zack with the 8 deuce. I told you he might step out and start taking control of this table, sensing that it's a little bit too tight. And that's exactly what he's trying to do here. The key is, when you make a move before the flop like this, is to follow it up with a continuation bet on the flop, no matter what comes out.
I mean, is Walsh thinking that Simon Zack is going to be a thorn in his side, and a message is going to have to be sent sooner or later? Is it better sooner or later?
Cool.
Always better sooner.
Well, that was the middle ground by Norman Walsh, just calling there. It's
Yeah.
almost like he couldn't make up his mind.
Well, you can't re-raise with King 10, I don't think. And
Check.
look at this flop. King 10 Jack. He's flopped 2 pair. He's got the World's Fair. And he's just going to wait for Simon Zack to
Check.
throw more
Check.
chips into this pot as they both check the flop.
Simon Zack in big trouble. Bigger now because he's hit a
15,000.
pair. And can he get away from this here? 15,000 bet by Norman.
Oh, absolutely. Already he should have given up on this hand probably once he was called and the flop came down, all high cards like that. Pretty much you're done with the hand, and this should be an easy fold. Situational players for people like Simon Zack take advantage of situations, but when the situation goes bad, like it does here, sometimes their mistake is, getting a little bullheaded and not giving up on lost chips.
I certainly hope he's not counting out a raise. He is!
Re-raise,
no!
all in.
And quickly an all-in move by Norman Walsh, and that will
35, 45.
Now, Walsh never even considered that Zack could have something like ace-queen to beat him. Was that foolhardy, or was it just good play?
by who? Certainly not by Simon Zack. So obviously that was a foolhardy check raise there. The only thing he could get Norman Walsh to fold there was a bluff.
As it is, he's drawing dead to an 8, and this is just a disaster with the 8 deuce. This is not what Simon Zack was thinking when he started out this hand, is it?
No, he had the right instinct. He had the, you know, it's so hard because so many things come into play to win one of these events. Your timing has to be perfect, your strategy. It's a combination of so many things. And he was correct in saying, hey, this table's playing too tight. I'm going to step up and take control of the action. But his timing was poor in that he ran into Norman Walsh there, who flopped 2-pair.
Well, Norman Walsh on the back of a big pot against Simon Zack, taking this one to the head. And that's been most of the chip movement from 6th to 1st.
Well, he's not been on the back of a big pot. He was on the back of Simon Zack, giving him the whip, which was the punishment for Simon Zack stepping out with no hand, and is why he is in the cellar with 29,000.
I think Zack is considering an all-in move. Ace-7 under the gun. He says, I do not want to go just yet. And is that a wise decision?
Yes.
Yes.
Raised.
Better
It's
opportunities
8,000
will
total.
come, perhaps.
I'll tell you, this Norman Walsh, he is the wild card here. He has got me confused.
He does. I don't think he's turned a hand over yet, except for the 8-deuce for 3 ducks. And these players, I mean, being that Norman's a chip leader right now, they're not going to really want to mix it up with him, are they?
Well, not only not mix it up with him, but it's hard to call this guy because, remember, he just flat called with 3 deuces. So if he's raising, you know, you got to put the guy on quads before the flop. Very tough to beat. So, you know, we kind of righted him a little bit for flat calling with the 3 deuces, but that might have gone a long way in giving him a psychological advantage against his opponents.
Well, Anil's paid the 4,000 from the big blind and caught this raggedy flop. Little does he know Walsh has top pair.
A dream flop when you raise with king 6 and it comes 6 high.
And if, say, if Anil raises here, he's going to be in trouble.
We raised to 25,000.
Wow, Gurnani stepping out now.
Called.
And all of a sudden, Norman Walsh casting spells on his opponents as if to say,
yeah, I mean, this
you
is
know,
a
bluff
great,
off your chips to me.
Great situation for Walsh. And unless it comes a 9 or 10, Anil might follow through by doing his money.
It's another 6. That's 3 6s for Norman Walsh. Action on Guunaney.
Check, check, both checked.
Wow. Walsh is going to let him hang himself.
It's a 7. I imagine Guunaney's going to give it up at this point. It'll be a, oh, it looks like he is going to bet.
There's 68,000 in there. Can he afford to leave these chips behind? And will he get called if he bets it all?
Well, putting good chips after bad is a recipe for disaster, and that will certainly play out here.
The only card I didn't want to see, but I'm not going away from it.
I missed.
Norman Walsh just calling once again. This time he's got 3 6s.
Big pot there for Norman Walsh. He really, I mean, he just let Anil bluff all his chips off, and Anil complied with that. Kenna, was that just bad timing for Guunaney?
Bad timing for Gurnani and bad play by Norman Walsh, not maximizing this opportunity of 3 6s.
I love getting into people's heads. I wind people up the table. It's something terrible. I mean, an awful lot of players back home just can't stand me because I get into their heads. I wreck their heads. I wreck my own at times, but it's worth it to see their faces.
Norman Walsh has walked into a huge chip lead here, and he's basically done it solely by opening up his butterfly net and letting the caterpillars crawl in.
He has walked into the suite with a gift box sitting there, right? The gift bag they give you when you go to Las Vegas.
He certainly has.
It's got bananas and apples and grapes and chocolates and cheese and crackers for those of you who haven't got one out there.
What a spot Stormin Norman's in. And right now, between Anil and Simon Zack, it's a battle for the bottom. The raise has been from Conor Tate here, who may find himself in a race with Simon Zack, who has re-raised all in with the ace high.
Yeah. Now this is a good position. You asked me last time he was out of position. What, should he have gone all in? No. This is a good position to do it in.
17,000 more.
But it looks like Conor Tate's going to be priced in here with the 10 jack. But
Quite like it.
Simon Zack will have the best hand before the flop. Will be about a 3-2 favorite.
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty much what Simon Zack wanted, a chance to get back in the game here, to make a 6-4 shot hold up. And he's going to have to survive 5 cards.
Oh, my goodness.
You talk about nothing going your way, Kenna.
He needs Lady Luck in the form of a queen to survive, or he will be our first one out.
That's made it even worse. Now it has to be a queen that's not a spade. 3 cards in the deck for Zack, and
Queen of clubs, queen of diamonds, queen of heart.
he's getting ready to walk.
His only hope, the river.
It's been no fun.
No fun for Simon Zack.
Cheers, love. Cheers.
He's a class player, a lot of experience on the UK, but
Cheers.
it just seems like his clock was set to the wrong time zone here tonight, Kenna, and first one out.
Well, and the first one out, and his nickname is the Bubble. The Bubble is usually the nickname given to the person that is last out before the money. Remember, only the winner goes forward. There is no second place. Second place, zilch, zero, nada. I know that because I finished second to one of the semifinal qualifiers here. Who was that took me down?
Johnny Houston.
Johnny
Texas,
Houston. Johnny Texas Houston. How about the guy with the nickname Texas took me out?
Well, you're not the first.
You mean he mows over?
He's knocked out quite a few players in his time, and he's knocked himself out even more than that.
One of the key elements in poker is not only knocking out your opponents, but don't be your own worst enemy and knock yourself out. Good point, Jesse May. As now we're back to the action, and it's folded around to the small blind. Christopher Black, who's got ace-jack. Black with ace-jack.
Now, the fact that Norman Walsh is the big stack in the big blind, does that influence how he wants to play this hand?
Absolutely not. He needs to make a nice 3 or 4 times the big blind bet here. I expect him to make it somewhere between 10 and 14,000.
Raise. 8 more. 12 total.
He makes it 12,000 as expected. Good play.
Cool.
He split the middle, and Walsh, who is dominated with the jack, peeling off the flop.
Wow. Walsh making the long call with Jack 9, looking for a free bus ride. 10-5-4, Jess.
They have both missed. Continuation coming from Chris Black here.
Continuation bet, very important. It's tough to do when you don't flop a pair, but you have to remember that, when your head's up in a situation, either player is an underdog to improve their hand. So it's important to follow it up with a continuation bet and establish your position, especially if you're the pre-flop raiser, which Black was. He does make the continuation bet.
Yeah, and it's a nice size, too, 20,000. I mean, if Walsh wants to make a play here, it's going to be expensive.
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult for Walsh to make a play here. He's got to make a huge re-raise. I don't think he's going to do it. He's going to fold. But he looks like a guy that wants to mix it up, doesn't he? He
sure
looks like a
does.
guy that's just, out there saying, hey, you want to go back in the alley? You want to go outside? Doesn't he look like the guy that says, hey, you want to go outside, buddy?
Yeah. Are you talking to me?
See? Look, he even pointed at him. He's going to make him count it down. This guy has jack high. He has absolutely no hand, and he's putting it to his opponent, at least psychologically, even if he doesn't make the bet.
Kenna, he's done everything but call Chris Black punk.
An excellent point, Jesse May. And I think he's doing that in his head.
80 behind.
About that, yeah.
Okay, that's okay.
He put the fear of God in me.
Did he say that? Did he say, what did you make it, punk? No, he didn't. His hand's over his mouth, but that's certainly...
Chris Black, I mean, they don't have guys like this in Boston.
Wow, I know. I tell you, this is not how you want to win a pot. I mean, he's got the best hand, and he's got to suffer almost humiliation by Norman Walsh with Jack high. Wow, when he sees that, he certainly...
And let that teach you a lesson.
I won't be surprised if that sweater comes off in the next round after the stare down of Norman Walsh.
2 levels have done the dust, and it is Norman Walsh, Stormin. 8 hands won, and a couple of them have been very big so far.
Norman Walsh has really been mixing it up around the table. He's made some strong moves on one hand and then held back on others, but either way the style is working. He's sitting very comfortably at the top of the leaderboard. Let's hear from Jesse and Kenna.
Well, Kenna, this game has been all Norman Walsh. What do you make of him?
Well, I don't know what to make of him. He's got a game plan that is very confusing, which is going to make it hard for his opponents to get a read on him.
Well, no one has caught him yet. No one has stopped him. No one has even put up any resistance. It's moving to 3,000 and 6,000 now.
Right.
What's going to be the key tactics for these players to put a stop to him?
Well, the key is going to be, will somebody pick up a big hand when Norman is out there? Because he doesn't look like he wants to give up much. You know, so if he gets tied into a hand and somebody makes, has an overpair against him, look out. We could see some fireworks.
Player to watch. Who is this level the most important for?
Well, obviously the short stack, Anil is going to have to get out there and gamble it up. I think it's most important for Fulari to see, which direction he's going to go. Is he going to fall down, or is he going to grow his stack and become a factor in this race tonight?
Will the short stacks get back in the game? Will Walsh continue the waddle?
Welcome back. Well, we've lost our first man, but there's still all to play for. 5 still being dealt in. It's cards and chips in the air. Let's get back to it.
All in.
Here we just say that Anil had to get it in one of the next 2 hands, and luckily he found a hand, ace-queen.
Yeah, I mean, he probably would have done that move with either one of the 2 cards. He's got them both. And unless John Fuladi decides to call him, Anil will have stolen these blinds.
Well, I don't know if I would really use the word steal when you have ace-queen, but he will definitely pick them up. Ooh, this would be a wonderful call for...
16,000 more.
Anil, give him a chance to get
for
right
Anil,
back in.
yeah, if he should get Fulari into this pot.
And Fuladi has said call. It'll be a race right now, and Anil in fantastic shape here. A chance to really get back in this heat.
Yeah, well, the pot's 47,000. It would be a welcome relief for Anil Gurnani.
Anything but a deuce, he's thinking right now.
Significant favorite. This is the position you like to see yourself in when all your chips are in the middle. Significant favorite as we go to the flop.
And Fuladi doesn't mind. It's the duck.
That's incredible. Holy cow, the deuce comes out. Fulari jumps into the lead. Now Guunaney's going to need a queen or a 10 to make the straight, or he will be out of here.
Yeah, he's gone from way ahead to way behind. And turn, no help at all. Although, excuse me, a jack or a king now would still keep Anil in this game, wouldn't it? It's giving him a couple extra
that's right.
outs.
It gives him a couple extra outs. Any jack or a king will win it, or a 10 or a queen. Anything above a 10, and Gurnani will double up. Otherwise, he's back to the monastery.
Jack actually for a split pot, but here's the river. Ooh.
It's an 8. And
2 pair beating 1 there. And really the story of this heat has been good plays except for one mistake. Anil doing his dough there, and now out in 5th.
Sent packing by a deuce. Even the smallest cards can deliver a killer blow. Anil Gurnani's out and we're down to 4.
If you're going to predict a confrontation here, Kenna, who is most likely to match up?
Well, if it's going to be a big confrontation, it's probably going to be against John Fulari and Chris Black. I'm just kidding. If you had a big fire in the building, they would be making sure everybody got escorted out before they ran for the exit. Let me tell you. He must have heard me. Is Chris Black going to step up the action a little bit here on the button?
You know, we've seen him fold some big hands from his button, but now with the 9-3, and this is ill-timed because Walsh has found a big hand in the small blind. And I mean, how big is Ace-Jack right now?
Well, when you play as many hands as Norman Walsh does, it's very big. I mean, he's playing, you know, the king highs and the jack highs and the 10 highs. So when you see ace-jack, believe me, it looks like 2 aces.
Looks like Norman Walsh is trying to convince himself he doesn't have anything.
And this time he folds. Explain that one to me, Jesse May. He calls with the king 10 and folds the ace-jack. I told you, he has a confusing strategy, not only to us, but to himself.
Well, this is amazing.
Conor Tate, well, you know, he's making a great call here.
I mean, we've seen Conor Tate fold some big hands in this exact same spot against the exact same player, but in a dominating situation, he seems to have picked something up, KJ.
Well, you know, he picks up, you know, a little bit of frustration. As we said, Chris Black has raised his blind so many times in the past. Each time he had a hand. This time, he actually flops a better hand. He's got bottom pair, but Conor Tate has an open-end straight and 2 overcards.
I feel like money's going in here.
Yeah, there's trouble written all over this pot.
Who is the favorite right here?
I think Conor Tate. Well, no, because the 9 will actually make Black 2 pairs, so he'll be the favorite.
Okay, 28,000.
The 9 is not an out for Conor Tate.
Conor Tate's moved all in. And this is going to be a very tough call for Chris Black, who is a 55% favorite in this spot.
Wow.
But it is Conor Tate who's gotten the chips in first, Kenna.
And that is a very good point, Jesse May, because it's so hard to call with bottom pair when your opponent has moved all in. But he might feel like he's just got too many of his chips invested and he might have to take a stand. This is where it is key when you make a bet to know what you're going to do if your opponent should raise you or move all in. And that way you can bet the appropriate amount. He's already bet so much that it's going to be very difficult for him to lay this down. It looks like Conor Tate saying, it's okay, it's all right if you fold. I've got 9 high, but...
Yeah, I mean, the writing was on the wall.
What a great call by Chris Black if he should make this call. I'll take everything back about you being the Lion and the Wizard of Oz. Should you make this call, dig deep down, Chris. Can he make the call?
I mean, what does he have to put Conor on to make this call?
2
overcards?
2 overcards or some type of a move. But even if he does put him on a 7 or an overpair, he's still drawing to a 3 or a 9. He's got to realize that the pot value is laying him the price to call. Will he figure it out?
You have 30 seconds to act.
Not only the pressure of his opponent, but the pressure of the clock is on him.
Yeah, tournament director Mad Marty Wilson has put the clock on Chris Black. His hand will be called dead if he does not act in the next 15 seconds.
And look at the players' faces, the intensity of the action.
And this is what poker's all about here, Kenna.
3, 2, 1.
That is why Conor Tate is a champion. Big pot, underdog. Tate gets his chips in first and wins it without having to see the Turner River.
The soft-spoken Conor Tate is quietly making his move, going about his business and playing like the true professional he is. Will he now take control of the table, or will Norman Walsh have something to say about it? Let's head back to the table.
Still cards to play here. Blinds 3 and 6 ball.
Fulari somehow has managed to keep his stack still above the starting pack of 100,000. He has 108,000. He definitely is the dark horse should the deck, hit him in the face.
He could cash out now for 8% interest. And fortunately, you can't cash out in poker. And doesn't Norman Walsh know that? He's going to try and win them all here. A limp in. That's a bit of a change of gears, isn't it?
He is. He's gone from raising to calling. He has the King Jack, the Kenna James.
He's keeping the players off balance. Fuladi, only 3,000 to call here. It's a dominated king, and he doesn't seem to know which way to go. Feels kind of like a call to me, KJ.
Yep, that's a good point. He did. I don't like calling with weak kings and weak aces because so often of the time you're dominated and you can win. You're either going to win a very small pot or lose a big one.
Big tip there. Small blind, no place for rag aces and kings?
Nope. Unless they're suited. You get the extra value of trying to make a flush.
Now look at this. Top pair. Excuse me.
14,000.
It's a flush draw for Chris Black and Walsh representing top pair.
No, it's the flush draw for Chris Black, right?
Mm-hmm.
For Chris Black, Norman Walsh has a gut shot straight draw.
Pass.
The bet is 14,000. Does Black need to make a move here, or could he just call?
Well, at some point he's got to create something. He's got to get some chips. So if he does decide to play this hand, the all-in move is the play. It's a semi-bluff. Obviously, you're not going to have the best hand with 3 high, but if your opponent should call, you can play the luck card and try and make the flush.
I mean, of course, the only thing he really is worried about is that Walsh might have an ace and call him. Is there any way he can work out that Walsh doesn't have an ace?
He should be able to because, remember, Walsh just limped in before the flop. He is going to raise.
Yeah, he's announced a raise, and I believe this is going to get through if it's big enough. This could be Chris Black, OTC, BTC, on the comeback trail.
OTC, BTC.
26,000 more.
Is that... What is that, OTC, BTC?
On the comeback trail.
Did you write that song, RESPTC?
And if Walsh calls here, I believe he'll be in the lead. He's asked... he's not going to do it, is he?
It's RESPECT, isn't it?
Plus 26 here.
I don't know. You're the speller. He's raised to 26,000. I don't see Norman Walsh calling this. But then again, I'm not Norman Walsh.
26 money, is it?
26 more to call.
It's 26,000 more to call. And Walsh has just flat called. Wow. He's leaving. This is incredible. He's leaving Chris Black some chips.
Right.
And, I mean, is there any way that Walsh could take this away on the turn? Black's only got 3 high.
No, there's no way. And now, all of a sudden, Chris Black is in the lead.
All in and a call.
With a pair of deuces, and he's going to love what he sees.
There's no way you could have convinced Chris Black that he was leading with the 2 deuces, but them's the nuts.
So far, but we have 1 card to come, and a king or a jack that is not a diamond will send Chris Black to the rail.
Yeah, king, a jack, or 10. Walsh with a 16% chance, but it's still a bit surprising the way this hand has gone down, Kenna.
It certainly is very unorthodox the way this hand has been played by both players. As we go to the river, it is a 10 of diamond making Walsh the straight, but Black bettering him with the flush is going to double up.
And I'm nearly gobsmacked. I mean, Chris Black would have won that pot on the flop against anybody in the world, but Walsh came calling, and as a result has gotten cut severely.
Well, Yeah, I mean, Chris Black was the short stack, but still, Norman Walsh, every chip is valuable, has to realize, he cannot be calling off chips with king high.
He must have read weakness there, Kenna.
Well, even if he reads weakness, how about himself? He's only got king high. If you read weakness, you want to respond with at least a little bit of strength of your own.
Leaderboard ran across the bottom tape, and it has shown Norman Walsh knocked off the first place pedestal for the first time since, I think, hand number 1, KJ. And what does he have to do to get back in?
Make better decisions.
Pass.
That'll give Chris Black an enormous amount of confidence.
Pass.
Sure is. Even with the muck, he mucks with confidence. When you win a pot with 3 high, well, actually, he made the flush, but at the start of the hand, he had 3 high, and he more than doubled up. So, job well done by Chris Black.
It's possible that Walsh made a mistake on every street. He's played so well, too, Norman Walsh, and now with 144,000, you wonder if he still has what it takes to get back in this game.
Well, I'm not sure if it's good play or good fortune that hit Norman Walsh up to that point, but
Pass.
we will see how it plays out.
Pass.
This table's gone very quiet. Everyone with their eyes over here on the 1 seat. And Walsh
Raise.
putting the screws to Conor
10,000 more,
Tate.
16 total.
And this is what should Conor do here? He knows that Norman Walsh is not a man to back down. He's decided just to call and peel off a flop.
I like that play by Conor Tate. You don't raise a guy who you know is going to call with nothing when your hand isn't, a significant favorite.
Check. Check.
It's gone check, check. Walsh has slowed down, and so has Conor, who has now been allowed to hit top pair. And
well, this is a
15,000.
again a
Called.
poorly played hand by Norman Walsh. He had the best hand, and he checked it, and now he has the worst hand, and he's
Check.
calling.
yeah, and at this stage, he could only beat a bluff. And you wonder what would happen if he moved in. He's checked it.
20,000.
And Conor's trying to get paid here.
Norman Walsh going to call him with ace high, it looks like.
Called. Gentlemen.
Well, Norman Walsh built a big stack, and now he's running it into a small one here, KJ. Conor Tate.
Well, he's just giving it away now. I mean, those are just two generous gifts to the table from Norman Walsh.
And with that, Conor Tate accelerating into the chip lead, and Walsh really is going to have to stand on tippy toes just to see the other stacks. Game slowing down a bit four-handed, but it looks like Chris Black is starting to make a move here, KJ.
Yeah, well, it's slowed down, but there's a lot of work to do, especially for Chris Black. He wants to attack these short stacks, stay away from Conor Tate, and slowly move up to get him in position if he should be heads up with Conor Tate to give him a match.
Yeah, I mean, sooner or later you have to fight the Titan, but no reason to do it when there could be easy pickings right and left.
That's right. You want to focus your attention on those short stacks, the stacks that can't bust you, but you can affect them by putting pressure on them and forcing them at a decision for their chips, and staying away from Conor Tate, who is the dangerous wild card, not even a wild card, the dangerous player in this match.
Yeah, always pick up the edible mushrooms before you go after the poisonous ones. Chris Black trying to do just that. Onwards and upwards is the call but it's been a crawl so far. Four-handed here, and Norman Walsh, hand over his mouth. He's been immovable, but the cards have not cooperated of late. And he must be feeling the pressure. Do you think his head is completely rattled?
Well, I don't want to talk about Norman Walsh's head.
It's
who
hard
knows
sometimes
what's
to
going through his mind at this juncture. You know, he's had some good fortune. He's had some bad fortune. He's had some questionable decisions. We'll see how it plays out. Maybe he can turn it around. I hope so for his sake. In the meantime, the action is off. The blind's still 5 and 10,000.
Raised to 25,000 total.
Chris Black brings it
All
in for
in.
25,000. He's an interesting player. He's showing some very, interesting dynamics to his game.
Yeah, Black's been a bit of a revelation, but Norman Walsh trying to make something happen with the re-raise all in 6-7 offsuit on the button play.
Well, I like this play if it's enough to move Chris Black off his hand.
I mean, if it is, he's going to pick up 40,000 uncontested, and Black.
It should be enough to get Chris Black off his hand.
Norman Walsh has just decided that Chris Black is the one to pick on.
And interesting enough, Norman Walsh may have been listening to me because this, to me, is his strongest play of the tournament right here.
It's like 82 total.
He's not going to lie down like a lamb, Norman Walsh. And
no, I told you, he'll get somebody in the alley and make them see stars, and that's what he's doing to Chris Black here, taking this opportunity to try and push through 7 high against Chris Black.
I mean, were Black to call, he'd be an enormous favorite, but he looks sad-eyed like the lady of the lowlands right now.
I don't expect Chris Black to call here, and no, he's going to muck his hand. Excellent play by Norman Walsh. He turned it around, picked up a key pot to keep him in this match.
Yeah, he made a mountain out of a molehill there, but Norman Walsh, and if this game becomes a pre-flop game, then all of a sudden Norman Walsh could equalize.
Yeah, that could be a factor. His aggressiveness before the flop. It looks like his success has been that when he just flat calls. Okay, and he gets in and sees flops and turns and has a lot of decisions to make. That's where he falters. His strength is his aggressiveness pre-flop. So as long as he sticks with that strategy, he could be a significant factor in this match. Here he goes just flat calling again. This is the type of play that gets him in trouble, even when he has position. The best thing that Norman Walsh can hope for is a re-raise by Conor Tate and then a move in and a race situation.
You know what, this could be the first
race
trouble that Conor Tate is going to be in, because I think Norman Walsh is going to look for the race and find one.
I think you're correct.
Up to 50,000 total.
Norman Walsh has not shown the gear of backing down to intimidation. Fulari and ace-4 is probably an easy muck for him.
It's a bad card for Norman Walsh to have out there.
Or
He's missing an ace, and it has gone all in.
Yep.
The limp re-raise.
Yeah, he's selling his opponent that a play that he's limped with a big hand like aces or kings, and now comes back over the top trying to get his opponent to fold. But Conor Tate too much invested here, I think, and will most likely make the call.
With the situations that Tate has been getting into, a 50-50 race is...
Yeah, this is the first real misstep by Conor Tate, even if you can call it a misstep. Getting involved in a race situation against opponents that he certainly has outclassed. And if he's not in a race situation, if he does end up folding, he's giving up way too many chips with just pocket fives.
doesn't seem to be sure about which way to go. Is he considering that he's up against an overpair, or is he considering that if he folds, he'll have still a very playable stack?
Well, he's considering all those options, Jesse. But right now, you know, he's considering, can I really, can I afford to fold? Is the pot too big? So many questions to be answered. I imagine he will make this call.
It's interesting. There's 178,000 in the pot, and if Conor folds, he'll have about that much. But he's decided to call, and Norman Walsh is going to be pretty excited here. It's a race to get all the chips back that he has done.
And you can see the disgust on Conor Tate's face. Even though he realizes he's a slight favorite in the hand, you don't want to get this many chips in the middle, you know, and put the cards in Lady Luck's hand to win it. You want to be more, you know, a significant favorite in the hand. And here he finds himself in a race situation as we go to the flop.
Yeah, Walsh all in, but it's no fun gambling when the bus man has the dice, and that is not a terrible flop for Walsh.
No, not a great flop either. The 2 7s can counterfeit his hand because a jack now would make a higher 2 pair for Walsh. He's going to need 2 cards unmatched, ace 9 or jack for Norman Walsh to double up. It's a queen.
Yeah, Walsh all in a live draw.
Yeah, now a jack, a queen, an ace, or a 9. Otherwise, he's out of here. He's taking the bus home, or is he here?
Oh, it was a face card.
It's a king. And believe me, Conor Tate, a welcome relief to win that race.
Norman Walsh has made his mark on this game. He stormed, he swept, but in the end, he is out in 4th.
Started off really well, just died to death, didn't it? Got upset when Chris kind of plumbed in with about 2-3 or 3-4. I think I had King Jack of clubs. I knew when he was betting, he had nothing. I knew I was ahead. He spiked a 2 to go ahead of me, and then on the river he had 10 diamonds to go hit a flush, but he didn't need to hit a second one, of course. That's poker, isn't it?
You know, Kenna, there's a lot of ways to play this game of poker, but there's something about Conor Tate that makes me think he's got it all sussed.
Well, his approach to the game is hitting on all cylinders. Not only is he playing well, reading players well, he's even running lucky, as you saw in that last situation where he won the race against Norman Walsh, eliminating him.
Conor's got 2/3 of the chips in play, 3-handed. Is there anything to look for that might suggest the other players are going to make a comeback?
Luck. They're going to need it against this guy because he's playing his cards perfectly to this point. It's going to take a lot.
Mama, give me a big pair. Let's see if John or Chris can pull it off.
All right.
Fuladi.
I mean.
Whoa. Fuladi. Yeah. Take down that pot.
Wouldn't it be funny if there's a whole bunch of guys from Maryland saying, "You mean Fuladi? You mean the maniac of Maryland poker? You mean that guy?" I mean, one thing about John Fuladi, he hasn't exactly gotten very many big cards either, Kenna.
That's true. That's a good point. But you have to, just like in life, you have to play the hand you're dealt. If you're dealt poor hands, you got to look for good situations.
Right now, Fulari arranging to play a flop. And I don't know what he's got, but he's in a good spot against black, I imagine.
Well, yeah, but see, he's left himself in a poor spot because he's flat called. And, you know, Chris could very easily make a raise here and try and win the pot right here, even though he has 7 deuce.
All in.
That's what he's done. Black has moved all in. He's just smelled weakness.
Well, you know, he's not as smelled weakness as much as he smelled that Fulari's not willing to put his chips into the pot.
It was the last hand of the level.
Yeah, I mean, Fulari stuffed weakness up his nose.
15, and we'll change our deal up.
And that was a really nice play from Chris Black. I mean, 20,000 added quite a bit to his stack right there.
That's a good point, Jesse. And poker players are like sharks in the fact that when somebody's bleeding and it looks like John Fulari's bleeding off his chips,
We're waiting for that hand all day.
you know, they'll just attack, and that's what's happened. Jesse May, as we go to the leaderboard, Conor Tate well in front.
He certainly is. And John Fuladi has done very well to only win 6 pots and get this far, but he is going to have to make a stand here, Kenna, isn't he?
Yep, well, the blinds have gone up now 6 and 12,000, or rather 7 and 15,000, excuse me. So that's 22,000 a round, just a little bit more than double of what John Fulari has in front of him.
Raise.
Raise.
Black thinks the ace is plenty.
Well, this is the confrontation that we expected. He's going to raise with the ace-8, and in the big blind,
42,000 total.
Conor Tate.
Okay,
It's about half of Fuladi's stack in there, and this is an interesting kind of hand. I mean, Conor, I guess...
Fuladi, excuse me, Fuladi is not in the hand. It's, you mean
Oh,
black.
black, excuse me. What should Tate be thinking here? Is it stronger to take a chance about knocking black out, or does he...
Did you say black out? he might,
Cool.
you know, he might experience a blackout.
He's
Here, if he
balancing
should get lucky.
the risk of doubling black up versus the upside of knocking black out.
He should only continue with this hand if he feels like he has an opportunity to win it without a showdown. And I guess he decides he does have that opportunity as we go to the flop.
And this could be the end of Chris Black.
A very good flop for Conor Tate. He flops middle pair and a gut shot straight draw.
All in.
I don't see him getting away from this hand.
And I can't see Conor Tate folding here. I mean, you have to think, even if he knew that Chris Black had a queen, he might call anyway.
Right, because he's got, you know, he's drawing two. He knows he's drawing live. A 9 makes him a straight. 10 trips, a jack 2 pair. This is probably going to be an easy call for Conor Tate.
What Conor Tate could make falling off a log look like a tough decision. He's stacking his chips around.
Well, he doesn't like to give anything up, you know. So certainly he's going to consider his options, but I'm sure he's going to conclude that he has to call this bet.
It is 80,000 exactly.
Cool.
And
Call.
Conor Tate knows if he calls and loses,
Cards, please.
that he will have nearly given up the chip lead. It'll be very tight between them. There's 2-4-4 in this pot. You mentioned, KJ, that Chris Black needed lady luck to make a move. He sure needs it now.
He certainly does. He's going to need an 8 or an ace to stay in this race, or you can see he does not feel good about his chances. Oh, the turn is a third 10, and that is going to do it. Chris Black drawing dead, going to the river.
Harvard Yard could not catch the cards, and Chris Black, that ace, salt in his wounds, out in third. Impressive stuff from the youngster tonight.
Dropping it down?
Yeah, he played well. You know, just some poor timing and some inopportune situations.
We're heads up. David versus Goliath, the internet qualifier against the professional. John Fuladi is more used to tapping away in front of a computer at home, and Conor Tate is used to playing on the biggest stages, including a 12th place finish at the World Series of Poker in 2005. This is what it's all about, but it couldn't happen. Could it? We're down to the final 2 in this heat of the partypoker.net World Open. One of these guys takes a step towards a $200,000 first prize and the other walks away with nothing. Let's see how Jesse and Kenna see this one going.
2 players left. A chip and a chair. Crazier things have happened. All is not as it seems.
A chip and a chair. He needs a prayer, as does Fulari. He's got to do something. He's got to have some kind of magic happen, and really get hit by the deck because, he's looking for a hand and he's just not finding any.
Outgunned 10-1. Give me blue 52. John Fuladi needs a bit of help. Conor Tate has just been it's been a poker clinic tonight.
It
Kenna.
certainly has. Here he is with King 7. I expect him to make a raise here as well.
Raise.
I mean, you and I have watched quite a few
62,000
of these heats together, and it's hard to see a better showing than what Conor Tate has done so far this evening. He's put the pressure back on to John Fuladi, willing to play the all-in with the king high. What does Fuladi need to call?
I would think anything higher than a jack, I would call. Looks like he has Queen 9. Oh, that's a very playable hand. He's only a 3-2 disadvantage, and he's already got 30,000 in the big blind. This should be an automatic call.
This seems to be right on the borderline for John Fuladi, and he's decided to gamble with it.
Well, the proper call by Fuladi. As you can see, not a significant advantage, but a slight advantage for Conor Tate to win this right here and grab that golden ticket into the semifinals, where the players there will be playing for the $200,000 first prize. Will he get that ticket? We go to the flop.
Conor looking to seal the deal here.
Wow.
And, oh, my.
Wow. Oh, my goodness. Fulari has flopped the straight.
Conor Tate has let no emotion loose, but this is the biggest flop that Fuladi has seen. Talk about luck in the right spot at the right time. Conor Tate nearly drawn dead with top pair here.
Yeah, it's over. Fulari has doubled up.
And this could be the only chance for John Fuladi, but all of a sudden, is his stack playable?
Well, look at you see a glimmer of hope and a smile crawl across the face of Fulari as he takes home that pot. He needed that pot like a dead man needs a coffin.
And the Maryland Express, John Fuladi, coming back into this one now. And, that may give him a little bit of confidence here, KJ.
Well, yeah, it certainly is going to give him confidence. He's back to his starting stack, 104,000. As you said, Jesse May, anything can happen.
We have seen some massive upsets in this world of televised poker.
Oh, and now he looks down at Kenna James, King Jack. If he should... Conor Tate. We can see now through our whole card camera has Ace King.
Oh, well, that's huge.
So we expect to see all-in action once again in consecutive hands. It's just a matter of how they're going to play their chips.
Fuladi has just stuck half of them in.
Now, if you're Conor Tate, do you move all in here? Or do you flat call and see a flop? That's the question.
All in.
He does move all in, Jesse May.
Conor Tate right now the happiest man in that room, looking down at Ace King. So close to that final. And Fuladi's been put to a decision here.
Call.
He makes the call. He's a significant underdog, 3-1 underdog. Okay, as the cards are turned up.
I need a doctor.
I need a doctor, says John Fuladi. I do believe this could be Conor Tate's sealant for victory. And Fuladi needs to get a bit of lady luck.
He needs the jack somewhere along the line to stave off elimination. The flop, queen 8-4, nothing there.
Hookless so far.
Will he get the hook?
2 cards to come. Conor Tate says, I've done all I can. Ooh.
It's a 9, which gives now Fulari more outs. A 10 will make him a straight. A jack, the pair will win it for him as well. 1 card left. What will it be?
Wow.
Oh, my.
That's
Consecutive hands here. John Fuladi.
K89.
And he can hardly believe it, Kenna. Conor Tate must feel...
7580.
It must feel, oh, my gosh, look at Conor's face.
I am...
That is about as big a reaction Conor Tate will ever have.
I am befuddled.
It is a bit of a David and Goliath story here. I mean, John Fuladi, online qualifier, got in through this, beaten several hundred or even several thousand on the internet. KJ and Conor Tate, of course, here by virtue of being considered one of the best players in the world. It's be a huge learning experience for Fuladi and for Conor right now. Just thinking about sealing that deal.
Okay. This
Raise.
is a very tense time now.
Oh, wow. And I think raise announced by Conor Tate.
This time he elects to raise with the queen high.
John
On the button
Fulari.
and is run into ace-jack for Fulari.
Surely it's a push-push here. Pish-posh.
I would think so. This even for Fuladi here, this has got to, sense strength here, heads up. It's just a matter of how he's going to play it.
Does seem to be considering his options.
A call.
He's decided just to call here.
Wow.
It's another opportunity for Conor to win a pot he's not entitled to.
That's a good point.
Fuladi
Jesse.
looking for the flop, and he's caught it. Top pair, top kicker.
Yep.
Check, check. Both checked.
I think Conor sensed something.
Absolutely.
If it comes a queen, could mean the end of John Fuladi.
Check.
It's a king. Wow. Conor Tate, it's hard for him when an opponent keeps showing weakness like this not to
45,000.
show some strength and put your opponent at a decision.
These hands fraught with danger. Fuladi, is he concerned that Conor Tate may have caught and passed him?
Absolutely, that has to be a concern. It looked like he had been concerned from the start, though. You can see the tight lips. You can see.
Raised, all in.
That was about as tense as
Oh,
Conor Tate
my
got, and
goodness.
Fuladi found the heart. He found the courage.
There is that, Conor.
And there is absolutely nothing Conor Tate can do right now, except to pass him in.
Yeah, this is ill-advised bluff here.
96,000 more.
At the wrong time, 100,000 more. I don't see Conor Tate calling this. He's just going to sell a little bit more strength than what he really has. And I'm anxious to see the chip count after this. John Fulari may have taken the lead.
One of the fantastic things about this game is how experience can be equalized by cards. And Fuladi, a couple cards, a little bit of heart, and he is running rings around Conor Tate.
This is the most amazing set of developments I have seen in a long, long time.
Conor Tate is trying to put Fuladi on a hand, and he just said ace-jack. I mean, that's how good Conor Tate is.
Conor Tate, he's got it all, but he does not have the luck against Fulari, I'll tell you that.
He has not called out one of Fuladi's cards. He's called out both of them, but it doesn't matter.
Yep.
It does not matter.
Plus.
And he's going to lay it down. With that, the level is over, and all of a sudden, with the blinds going up,
We're going to change our dealer.
and these stacks nearly level, KJ, it's close to a crapshoot. Well, you talk about anything can happen. Tail the tape for 15 hands, heads up, KJ. And Fuladi has been dominant.
He certainly has. He's really fought his way back very well in this match, pulling almost even with Conor Tate. Does he have enough left in the tank to take the title away from Tate? Let's go down to the felt and find out how it finishes up.
When you've lost a lot in a row like that, do you start to hear voices? I mean, do you start to see demons? What happens to you, KJ?
Well, you know, it's happened to me. I got to tell you, I lost that match heads up to Johnny Houston, in which he called me with Jack 3 and sent me to the rail talking to myself, and I nearly had to get into a straitjacket before I recovered.
It's a funny game.
So there are voices in the head. There's doubt, there's disgust, there's so many emotions that run rampant inside the man that it's difficult to describe. But that's why we play this game. It's filled with the thrill of victory, the agony of defeat, the frustration, the passion, the joy of winning. It's all there in poker, and that's why this game is so great and why so many people have found it and are playing it today.
I'll tell you, one person who's shown no doubt this evening is John Fuladi. He sat there in that chair. He's played his cards, and I'll tell you what, according to his program, he is well on the way here.
Exactly. You put that very aptly. According to his program, he is running on his program, his speed, not our speed, which said, hey, when are you going to get out there and, put the pedal to the gas? Or, put the foot on the gas pedal. And he said, hey, I go at my own pace, and this is my pace, and it's working for him tonight.
Raise of 50,000 to 70, and Fuladi has Conor dominated.
Yes, this is a very, very dangerous hand for Conor Tate. He's out of position. He normally would fold this hand, but his frustration level might get him involved, and that's exactly what's happened. He's made the call.
If it comes a 10, you wouldn't like to say John Fuladi has hit top pair. No, middle pair.
Jack, queen, and this spells trouble because Conor Tate has the open end straight. 9-10. He could move all in here very easily.
Check.
It's gone check, check. 8 or king is what Tate needs.
It's a king. Conor Tate makes a straight.
And there's 3 diamonds on board. John Fuladi does not have one in his hand, which means he's drawing dead here. Excuse me, a 9 or ace would split the pot. Fuladi has a draw here.
And this is the problem. When you play too passively, you allow your opponents to draw out on you, and that is exactly what has happened here. Fulari with a significant advantage before the flop. He still had the advantage on the flop, but allowed his opponent to draw out on him and take, what is really a crucial pot. It has a lot of chips in it, and it extends Conor Tate's lead.
I want the...
Is that what he's going to
Cheers.
Head-to-head graphic here, and Conor Tate has won a few more of late, and the results have showed, KJ.
Yep, it's pretty close on the tail of the tape. That key pot, a couple of key pots by Pilate has kept him in this match, and he is still there. Notice if he doubles up 135,000, that would put him at 270. Yeah, minus 135 off of Conor Tate, 330, so it would be a very close match.
Fuladi still at the point where a double would mean trouble for Conor. And
here is a cracker hand, a double up hand, 10 jack. of spades for John Fulari. Fulari. I said Fulari, it's Fulari.
He's taking his time with it.
Nice.
I wonder, does he have enough to put some in and leave the rest behind? That's what he's done. It looks like triple the bet.
60,000 total.
Yeah, I don't anticipate Conor Tate getting involved here with 8-9 offsuit. Although he will give it some consideration. Even the great players are prone to making a mistake here and there. This would be a big mistake if he should try to see a flop.
Is Conor just trying to find a hand to end this and perhaps give himself as many chances to hit a big flop here? KJ? 7-8-9 would be dangerous. And oh my, 3 spades on the board. It's a flush for Fuladi. And any chips Conor Tate puts in this pot are not coming back.
No.
If it comes an ace of spades, Fuladi's...
I wouldn't be surprised if Tate moves in here and, and forces his opponent to a decision.
Is Fuladi's hand so big that he must check here, KJ?
Absolutely. A slow play here would be a very good play. He's got to check here and let his opponent, give his opponent a chance to bluff off his chips on the turn.
He's looking at his chips like they're a jelly donut. He just can't help himself. I mean, he's nearly got a royal flush.
Looks like he's going to make a small bet. Wow. Wow. Huh? The actor comes out even in Fulari.
That's a royal
flush!
Oh, my.
Oh, my goodness.
And that's a poker face.
It is. The bells and whistles should be going off. The fireworks, the 4th of July. Oh, my goodness. And he's probably going to get his opponent to bet into him.
Oh, no.
Incredible.
Oh, no.
We have seen everything here. He's taking the acting level to new heights. The Royal Shakespeare Company should be proud in making phone calls to John Fulari after this performance.
Tom Hanks is here in Hampton, and I imagine he's going to call here, KJ, which is what he's done. And poor Conor Tate, does he know enough to give up the ghost, KJ, or might he sink himself deep, deep, deep?
He has gone down the river of despair. Running into a royal flush. Can it get any worse for Conor Tate? I've made one of these in my poker career.
And a little peek there by Fuladi. That check by Conor Tate pretty much giving up the ghost.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean...
I bet.
All in. Pass.
Quick fold from Conor. Will Fuladi show him?
He does.
Ooh!
The royal flush.
He's going to let it.
Oh, my goodness. You can see the sweat building on Conor Tate.
I have to say, I think that if he had shown Conor Tate that hand, it may have sent Conor over the edge.
How many times does that happen in your lifetime? The very best that you can get in poker, the royal flush. It's the hand of dreams that most players never even see, and Fulandi's just had it in front of the cameras. Poker doesn't get much better.
Conor Tate still with a chip lead, but the wind has been knocked out of his sails and then some. Fuladi, button, small blind. Confidence of 1,000 cards.
Okay.
Oh.
And he's just limped in here. This could be a little trap set for Conor.
Well, he just does not like to put in pre-flop raises. You saw even with his bigger hands, he does not like to raise. He likes to make a hand before he bets it.
Nuttin for a neater.
Check.
And neither
Check.
being the operative.
Check.
Quick check, check here. Straight draw here for Conor.
Yep, that gives Conor Tate a gut shot straight, and 9 would give him the straight.
A lot of checking for 40,000 being in that pot. And a
Check. Both checked.
king high is good. Did Tate dog it there, KJ?
Well, you know, he is a little shell-shocked, and I don't blame him. It's like he has been hit with a bat.
It is. I mean,
it's like he has been caught in the alley, in the act of doing something wrong, and he's done nothing wrong but play perfect poker.
I tell you, there were several players who looked like they were going to take Conor Tate
And
down
look
the
at
alley.
Conor. He's like he's looking to the heavens for an explanation of what is going on.
Deliver me, oh Lord. I think the 9th palm or psalm. It's button play here for Conor Tate. And 10,000 to call. 2 face cards. I like that.
Wow. Conor Tate, he has king, queen. This is one of those type of hands where we could have a hand against.
Oh my!
hand. Oh,
Snowmen.
Fulari with the pair.
And we saw him just call with 2 4s. 2 8s is pretty darn big. Again, it could be a race for the champion.
It could. If Fulari moves all in here, I expect Tate to call, and we could have a race for the championship.
Considering his options.
He has shown a, you know, his regular play here is to call.
Really, it seems like a push is the right move, but Fuladi has done everything his way so far. He wouldn't like to say what he's going to do. It's 40,000 more.
I'm all in.
He does. He moves all in. He moves all in, and Conor Tate just cannot believe his fate.
Conor's back in the tank. And Conor in a situation right now, he's just stuck 60,000 in. If he folds here, KJ, then he'll be slightly out-chipped. Hey, look at him. He is not sure of which way to go. Is he being forced to gamble? Is he scared of an ace? Is he scared of being dominated?
I would be scared. He can't win. He cannot win against this guy no matter what he does.
Wow.
Wow, and what a great play by John Fulari to take this pot away from Conor Tate. Incredible series of developments here.
John Fuladi has just taken the chip lead significantly. And with that, the blinds are going up, KJ.
30,000.
You can't spit on Superman's cape. You cannot step into the wind. And KJ, you can't mess around with John.
Wow, you certainly can't stand downwind of him, I'm telling you. Everything blowing his way. He is having his way with Conor Tate. The cards falling just at the right time. He's put himself in a position to get lucky and win this event, and it looks like that just may be what happens.
I mean, and confidence breeds aggression. Fuludi, all of a sudden, getting a few wrinkles into his game as well.
Yeah, he certainly has, and it's not on his clothes. He has wrinkled the brow of Conor Tate. And Conor Tate, nothing coming off that brow but sweat. He thought he had this won. He had a simple little mop-up job, which all of a sudden, like you said, it's turned into a toxic spill, and the toxic spill is John Fulari.
Conor Tate, he is a magic man, but the wand has been broken.
Welcome back to an incredible heads-up clash. We've seen the lead change between the internet qualifier and the pro, and to top it all, we've had a royal flush in front of the TV cameras. Let's get back onto the table. Who knows what's going to happen next?
There is a pendulum hanging over this table, and if you don't duck your head, it'll hit you in the noggin.
Well, I think it's already hit Conor Tate more than once. His head certainly ringing and reeling from the events that have developed here. Not losing a hand, not one hand in this tournament until it got heads up when Fulari sucked out on the river with that 10 and made him the straight. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Jesse May, but that may have been the first hand that Conor Tate had lost this whole tournament, and ever since then he's been pedaling backwards.
It's a big raise for a 6 high. It is a load of goo with garbage. And Conor Tate not playing his hand. I guess he is playing the percentages that Fuladi will pick up a hand to call a raise with.
Exactly right. He's pretty much relegated himself that his cards are not going to win it for him, that he's going to have to play pure situations and pure poker and continue to put the pressure on at every opportunity against John Fulari. And that's what will win the day. Let's see if he's correct or if Fulari will take a stand.
You know, you talked about Conor Tate using everything in the kitchen sink. He has finally had to resort to the Irish style of poker, brute force. You get the feeling that this is one poker match that is going to go right to the boneyard. You know, it took 27 million years, KJ, for the Colorado River to make the Grand Canyon. And Conor Tate may need nearly that long.
27 million years? Is that right?
No, it's I've just made it up actually, but I've heard that.
Certainly, that's how long Conor Tate has felt that this match is gone.
Raise. $55,000 more. 85 total.
Fuladi squeezing, looking for that ace.
Who knows? You know, Fulari's shown us that new wrinkle, raising with the 9 high.
He decided to peel off a flop. Suited connectors.
Yeah, he's decided to get stubborn here with the 8-9 of spades.
Well, I mean, this pot is now massive, KJ. 170,000 in the kitty. And,
wow, a key hand as we go to the flop.
Fulani giving himself a chance to flop something. And look at this! Huge flop for Conor Tate. Top pair and the flush draw. Is this it? Is this the end?
Well, we will find out. Action on Fulari.
I'm all in.
All in.
I think it's going to be a quick call.
Call.
It's a very quick call. Chips are in the center. And Kenna James, John Fuladi is now down to a 9 or an offsuit 8.
You gotta get extremely lucky.
Really amazing here. But, you know, Fulari, the river saved him one time. Can it save him again? He needs a 9 or an 8 or the championship goes to Conor Tate. We go to the turn.
What?
It's a harmless deuce. 1 card left in Fulari's deck.
Tate would have loved that to be a diamond. The river has not been kind to him tonight. And the ace, he's won it! Conor Tate has overcome every obstacle. The deck, the cards, the dealer, a raging, charging John Fuladi.
He's played it like a champion, and he comes away much relieved. Moving on to the semifinals is Conor Tate. Well played, mate.
Conor Tate is the first player through to our second semi-final. He's over with Jesse and Kenna now.
Buy the man a bottle of suds, Conor Tate, because you deserve it. You must feel like you earned your victory tonight.
Yeah, that was one struggle, in the end anyway. And I was just saying earlier that the hand where I've got him all in as soon as we go heads up, I haven't lost a hand all the tournament. And I'm thinking to myself, there's only one card to go. This is the first tournament I've ever played and won every hand. And I've got him. And then he rivers me and I'm thinking, right, I'll get him next time. And then I'm thinking, How am I going to tell the wife?
Well, you say you hadn't lost a hand. Certainly, this game has a way of humbling you at certain times, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And certainly, doubt had to creep into your mind because you were playing such a perfect game. I mean, really flawless poker to so many aspects. And what goes through your mind when you started losing those pots?
It's funny. The guy asked for a break when he won the pot. When he asked for a break, and really it was me that needed one. So when we've gone outside, he's talking to me, and I just know that I'm really in with the shout. I've lost a huge pot. I've just got under half the chips. When I go back, I resettle, and never give up faith.
No, you did resettle after that.
Did you believe, though, because it seemed like a lot of the hands weren't shown that John was winning. Did you think that he was changing his game plan, or did you think he's getting cards?
Well, I've bet 30 to steal into the 75. He's got 75 left. I bet 30, and he flat calls me. And I'm sat there thinking, why not just show me the jack now? These guys just said he had royal flush. So But and when you start knowing that he's hitting huge hands, the element of doubt creeps in. And at the end of the day, there's huge luck involved when it gets to them blinds. And it was a 50-50 game.
I mean, at the end of the day, you said it would have been so impressive to never lose a hand. More impressive this way, I think, Conor. You showed a clinic on how to play when things are going your way, and even better when things are going against you. So best of luck in the semifinals. Conor Tate, first man through to the semifinals, and won't he be a force to be reckoned with? Join us next time on the partypoker.net World Open.